Good morning. Happy Thursday, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of Oracle Talks. This is your girl, Jynnette, the Oracle. And oh my goodness, this past week. It's been a week, right? But we're here though. We are here. Anyway, welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you who are returning. If you are new, or even if you are returning, please make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Help me get to 1,000 subscribers. That would be awesome. Please also like the video because it helps to spread the video throughout the YouTube ecosystem. Greatly appreciate it. And so this is going to be additional channel messages for the full moon in Scorpio. If you're not already actually on my email list, my newsletter list, if you don't follow my blog, I put out a short channeled message there. But I definitely am still going to be here, obviously, right, for this. Yes, Stephanie Stevens, it has been a week. Both amazing and uplifting and the glorifying and divine and all the things, as well as just like the warfare. Yo, sometimes the dark be showing its ass for real. But we still here though, and still looking cute. With that being said, I want to invite everyone to take a few deep breaths to settle in. Take at least 5 slow, deep breaths on your own. And as you take these deep breaths, settle into your intention to receive messages for your highest and greatest good, calling in your higher self as well as your own team, your own personal team of guardian angels, spirit guides, loved ones in the light who walk with you, love you, and support your healing and your evolution of consciousness. I call forth the presence of God, the very Holy Spirit of the divine, to be with us here in this moment. To protect us, to shield us, but also to flow through us the highest vibrational energy, light, sound, codes, information, and healing for our highest and greatest good. Now, for those of you who are new, watching me for the first time, I first start with a channel message, and then I answer questions in an open Q&A afterwards. So in the interest of time, feel free to type your questions in now, and that way I can go back and read through them. Like, the sun really just came out. It was just raining this morning here in Southern California, and like the way the sky looks right now, you would not believe that it just rained. Like, it's so blue. I love it. Hey, Charisse, nice to see you. Okay, let's see if there's any other announcements. Enrollment for Lightworker Academy is open. So I am offering 3 different courses for you to choose from. One is a repeat of my Lightworker Incubator. So that's a 6-month process to support those of you who consider yourselves to be Lightworkers and you're wanting to go to your next level. Then there is the Divination Through Tarot course, and that one is a 2-month course. That one is going to be focused on my interpretations, higher metaphysical interpretations of the cards, as well as sharing with you some of the spreads that I use. And then the 3rd class is the Astrological Soul of Your Business. So that's also a 2-month class, and that's going to be focusing on my interpretation of astrology as it relates to business. So that's going to be great for those of you who either are in business for yourself, or if you have a hobby that you want to turn into a business. We'll get into what actually makes up the dynamics of the business itself, what kind of cycle of growth or contraction it may be in, and all sorts of things. So it's great. And I just saw 444, so perfect. Welcome and good morning to this week's Oracle Talks. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. And again, we're channeling messages for the full moon in Scorpio. This is also for the week ahead, but the corridor basically of the full moon, which will be these days now that we're in, leading into the full moon, which we actually probably started feeling yesterday, to be honest, as well as the 3 days after. Yeah. Okay. Good morning. This morning I'm drinking peppermint tea. I've actually been on a holy basil tea kick for the past 2 weeks, but I've been alternating between that and peppermint. Trying to calm this inner fire. Okay, so I'm clearing for one of y'all because you heard me. My voice was fine earlier, so I don't know who is having trouble speaking up for themselves or communicating. But I send you lots of love and strength and healing to express yourself, okay? And then also, too, if there is any blocks whatsoever in terms of you being able to receive communication from your angels or divine team, let that also be cleared. Okay, so obviously I needed to facilitate that for somebody here. Beautiful. Okay, so where have we been so far up to this point over the last week? So we have been on this journey of the King of Pentacles. So the King of Pentacles, now this specifically would be the Taurus element, which it's fixed earth, but it's basically management of resources, management of our health, our wellness, relationships, money, our home, all those kinds of things, right? And if I remember correctly, it was either Queen of Pentacles or King of Pentacles, but it was a lot of earth energy last year over the past week about, taking care of that, which is interesting. So that's good. The fact that it is showing up as the King of Pentacles means that there definitely has been a level of mastery and discipline that we've all been sitting in as it relates to that. And I'm also hearing the phrase, starting to see the fruits of our labor. We're starting to get a sense now, a better indication of the power that we have to control our physical reality, right? Hey, Ilana. Is it Ilana or Elena? I really don't like mispronouncing people's names. Long A or short A? But thank you for saying hello to everyone. First one. So Ilana. Okay, perfect. Yay. See, trust your instincts, right? Cool. So yay for mastery for all of us. What we have available with this upcoming full moon in Scorpio is the 5 of Cups. And this is really, really good, okay? Because this is an energy of release, okay? As well as, since this is cups, the moving of water, so that, when you have stagnant waters in general, unless we're talking about like a really pristine lake in the Alps, it's not the fullest potential of water. It actually can be very, very toxic. So the fact that this is what is available coming up is really, really good. Okay. So this might be a final emotional clearing of just some residual stuff that might be there. You may also feel a boost of energy from this as well too. So if you've been kind of like blasé or ho-hum, or maybe even a little depressed, you may get a good cry over the weekend, which inevitably should actually make you feel better because there's been a release, right? The reason why I was smiling when this card popped out, because this was the first card that came out, is because when I had done the channeled reading for the newsletter and for the blog that I put up on my site, this card had actually come out. Like I saw it first when I was shuffling, and then it did eventually end up popping out. But I'm glad that this is showing up again. It's like, if things are popping up that you're like, okay, I feel like I should have already like healed this or been past that, especially if it's been something that's been showing up from the past month or so. There's nothing that you actually need to do with this. All that's happening is just it's being brought up to be cleared, but it really shouldn't be any kind of deep triggering energy. All right. The action is actually the last judgment. Now, the thing with this is it can literally talk about the resurrection of stuff, right? So the bringing up of stuff that you thought was dead, that is not dead, that is available to be cleared. So what's actually supporting this process is the Knight of Pentacles. And for me, lately, the Knight of Pentacles has very much been talking about healing. It represents the Virgo energy, and Virgo is the healer of the zodiac. It's the energy of the composting earth, but also fruitful earth as well too with Taurus. But this is giving me the sense of, if things are coming up for you over these next couple of days or even throughout the weekend with the moon, just let it come and know that healing is happening on your behalf, because where the divine is supporting us is the Ace of Swords. Like, this is literally clarity and the cutting of whatever last residual energy is there that may be straggling. Okay. So you don't need to, I would actually say, just let this happen and don't necessarily actively engage. Stay on top of your personal protocols for, again, your health and wellness, your relationships, the management of your money and resources. Like, this is you handling your human life. Just do that and let spirit handle the rest. Okay? You're not doing anything wrong if something comes up. You're not doing anything wrong if something comes up right now. Didn't we also get like the Eight of Swords last week? And I was talking about like surrendering to the divine. Like, at this point, like the divine is essentially taking over. Like, that's very much the vibe that I'm getting right now. So whatever this relates to, because this is, I'm not getting anything specific about this. So any area of life where any of, again, especially if it's been within the past month, if it's like, oh, why is this coming up again? It's just coming up to be cleared. So just recognize it for that with the judgment here. And of course, make the choice not to reattach yourself to what's coming up. Just see it, just notice, and let it flow. Let Scorpio do its thing, because Scorpio, even though it's a fixed sign, behaves in exactly the same way as Virgo does to me as the healer. So it's emotional healing, but also can talk about, whereas Virgo related to Earth would be more of the human individual or like physical reality. Scorpio is definitely talking about transformation on a soul level, emotions, possibly ancestral stuff, whatever it is, but it's being taken care of, and it's being let go of. Okay, so let me expand this a bit. Oh, I love this. So this is the recent battle that we fought and have won. The Three of Swords is the heart opening, that inner alchemy. Beautiful, beautiful. Very nice. Now the King of Swords that came out, which is good. It's that strong mind. And that's what I was picking up here, is like we have developed that mastery. We are seeing like how our mind, among other things, as well as subconscious, right, affects our reality. And we are stretching and going. 5 of Wands here, 2 5s. So change and transition. Now we are actually showing up as the moon. So this is definitely definitely a message from full moon in Scorpio. this energy here. This also represents Pisces, but this is Anubis energy right now that I'm picking up. For those of you who are familiar with the Egyptian pantheon, if you're more familiar with the archangelic realm, this would be Archangel Azrael. Okay. But the emergence is here, literally. And this is also what I was referring to in the newsletter, as well as on the blog, about the portal opening. There is a portal opening. This these two lunar cycles, the moon in Aries and this moon in Taurus, which we are currently in right now, they're so interesting to me and so profound, because it's like the Aries energy is the lunar month with the Aries energy is very much feeling like not only a closing up or a shoring up of what's been happening for the past 6 months since, fall of last year, but also the last like 6 to 7 years, even maybe as far back as like 2010, right? Because there's just the whole first quarter of this year has just been so much about like the closing out of these Scorpio cycles with Venus, and just a lot of change on a karmic contract level. And in this Taurus energy, in addition to Aries of like, because we have been in a process of rebirth, of really coming into our own sovereignty and working that here into our physical life and making the changes that have been going on beneath the surface for so long really manifest. So, it's not to sound like a broken record. I'm not apologizing, but this is what transformation looks like. It takes time, but how you really are transforming versus just changing, right, is your center changes, your thought form changes, the way you behave changes, what you tolerate changes. Like everything does change. And thank God transformation takes time. Because if like, well, we already know what it feels like when transformation or change happens really quickly and all at once, right? It's very uncomfortable. So, it may be a pain in the ass to have this kind of process be happening over, weeks and months, but also thank God, because we got shit to do. We need to be building and creating as well. And so the ability to navigate the process and have space for creation and creativity in the midst of death and decomposition is a mastery walk if I ever saw one. So congratulate ourselves for getting this far while still being sane, while still being loving, but still looking cute, right? And giving a damn about yourself. Truly. Yeah, what we're facing is Two of Pentacles, this process of change. Oh, Alana says, it feels like manifestations is also happening quick. Yeah, so that's what I was talking about with this King of Pentacles. We also had the King of Swords come up, but there were so many weeks that I was talking about the recalibration of our consciousness, like literally the consciousness of our minds being shifted because of the changes on a soul level that began last fall. Remember when I was talking to you guys about the Cosmic Mother Star Dragon energy that was coming through with that was coinciding with Venus going retrograde in Scorpio? Like that's when the change fundamentally was happening. And so when the change on the soul level happens, which is the deepest level that is closest to source, then it takes the time to cascade down through all the different dimensional layers before it finally gets here to the physical. So what's been going on recently as we've come into spring, right, is the reshaping of the consciousness templates that make up who we are, how we think, our connections to our family, the belief systems, all that stuff has been coming up. And of course, like, we'll still have work to do, but that's really what a lot has been. A lot of past life stuff, a lot of ancestral stuff, we've been talking about, especially since the beginning of the year, with all this Capricorn energy and the South Node in particular being there, just bringing that shit up to be looked at, and to be released, right? So, yeah. And now that we're in this place of like, okay, the mind has been reshaped, it's like the universe has like given us the reins, and it's like, well, now it's up to you to choose where you're going to take your chariot, where you're going to take things in your life moving forward, because free will is actually a thing, right? There are larger cycles that we are a part of that we can't control. However, that which is for us to control is our responsibility. And so we've, been working with that. And it's been scary, it's been bumpy, but if you've been following me for a while and you've been making the choice to be like, you know what, I'm going to choose the highest choice for myself. I'm going to stay in integrity for what I want, what I'm stepping into, et cetera, et cetera. Then you should be finding that while you may tremble, this is actually feeling better than maintaining what was before, right? The central energy here now is the Seven of Wands, which is a card of victory, but it talks about maintaining your higher ground, your higher spiritual ground, staying above any negativity, whether that's inside your own head or your emotions or the external world. This isn't a card about being Pollyanna. This is like actively choosing what you will or will not engage in because you understand that you are in control. The sevens talk about your individual human personal power. This is under your control. So defend against the things that you need to defend, but also continue to do your work. And beautiful underneath that is actually the Two of Cups, which is self-love and also love with others. All right. Interestingly enough, I have the Nine of Swords right under that, and this is Mars in Gemini. So this, I believe it's been close to 6 weeks maybe that Mars has been in Gemini. It actually shifted into Cancer yesterday. And I'm getting the phrase like that cycle is over. So the hard work or not, depending on how you chose to engage, if you're listening to me, the hard work that you chose to engage with, of consciously engaging with the shifting and the transformation of your mind, watching the thoughts that come up, getting to the root, releasing, changing your mind, staying on top of your meditation, all that kind of stuff. That's basically what this transit was giving you the opportunity to do. And now that we are in this Cancer energy, the Two of Cups is the Cancer card. Okay. That's now the emotional body, right? And I have Mars. This is another Mars card, the Ten of Cups. This is Pisces, but basically Mars is going to be working now on our emotions. Oh, joy. But it's going to be in the sense of this Knight of Wands energy. I think this is going to be another day where I'm going down the middle of the deck again. The Knight of Wands is the process of creating. So now that you've gotten enough control over your mind, what you think, now Mars shifting into Cancer is going to show you that once you have a strong mind, a clear mind, a focused mind, and you then start to tap into your heart and align that with your mind, like the two of them working in tandem, because that's actually what the Two of Cups also talks about, is balance between the mind and the heart, or it can anyway. Then you see really how quickly things manifest. Like if you think manifestation has been quick before, like maybe manifestation has been like, oh, I'm manifesting something like within a week. Are you ready for manifestation within a day? Within an hour? So if it changes that quickly, if you manifest that quickly, again, be really clear, be really careful about what you're choosing to manifest. Because the universe is going to give you what you ask for, right? Right under that, we have the Emperor, which I love. This is my life path, so I sit in this divine masculine energy. But the Emperor is the one who is the major arcana archetype of the master manifester. He is in control of his mind. He's the Four, so form and structure and logic. But he also is the Aries energy, which is literally pure heart. Aries is the first fire. Okay, so he has control over both. This is the master manifester. And got the Ace of Pentacles again. Ooh, and Eight of Pentacles. So Knight of Swords. This is some good energy coming up, y'all. I won't go too far. I think that's is plenty. But that's what's next. That's where we're in now at this point, because like I said, Mars went into Cancer. So knowing that, okay. Excuse me. Whatever is needing to be burned through around the heart, and I'm saying heart instead of emotion, because when the heart is clear, emotion's clear. But yeah, whatever is need to be burned through with that is going to come up. So there might be some fear stuff that happens for you over the next few weeks, because now that Mars is actually shifted into Cancer, and we know that the North Node is in Cancer, that's going to be really good as long as you are taking action on those things that are in alignment with your soul purpose, right? Because Cancer represents the individual soul. So that's the positive aspect, quote unquote. The potentially challenging aspect is the fact that, we do have the South Node in Capricorn, as well as Pluto and Saturn in Capricorn. So we're going to be having some upcoming oppositions with Mars and Pluto and Saturn. And in general, I don't find transits necessarily to be tough, unless they have to do with Mars or Mercury, but really more so Mars, and it's Mars in conjunction with either Saturn or Pluto, because Mars can be the undisciplined part of ourselves and the reactionary part. So that's the only thing of caution I would say for the month coming ahead. But I'll probably get more into that. Possibly, we'll see what channels through when I do the June forecast. I think at least for the rest of this month, like we won't really be feeling too much of the effects, because Mars is just at the beginning is going to be at the beginning of Cancer, but I think it's going to be more so when we get into June, because we're also going to have, we're going to be prepping for summer solstice and then eventually the eclipses. So anywho, astrology on the brain. Let me get to these comments real quick, and then we'll see if there's any final messages. Yay us, for sure. A lot of change on karmic level. This is so spot on. Yes. True. Someone teach me WordPress. Google, just go on Google and be like, actually, you don't have to go to Google, just YouTube. Like anything, like I hope people understand. Like really, I want you to take some time today to really understand how privileged We are. Like, we literally have access to all the information we could ever want to have, as well as access to people who provide free content, right? Free teaching, free classes on like almost everything. So, yeah, get what you need, go after it, because there's actually not as many hindrances as you think there are. A great way to like reframe something is to ask, like, say you're like, oh, well, yeah, I mean, just I don't know how to do something. Well, what's what free options are available to help me learn this? And like as soon as you shift to like a how, or um asking for what's available, like the universe will bring that information to you like almost immediately. Anyway, tangents. Been working that with my mind and folks around. Yeah, I mean, it's always a challenge relating to others. North Node is in Cancer. Yay, North Node Cancer. Oh, so you're having a nodal return. Beautiful. So I'm assuming you're on the younger side. I can't remember because I feel like we've done a reading, so I apologize. Seriously, y'all, like I channel. I don't remember things that I channel, but where are we on time? Okay. Oh, good morning to folks coming in. So please subscribe to the channel. Please like the video as well, too. Thank you. This is the Oracle Talks for the full moon in Scorpio. I am going to check real quick to see if there's any last messages, but please do type in questions that you have so we can jump into Q&A, because I do have to run after. I'm a North Node and Leo person. But nodal return's always good. Heart and mind alignment equals new goal. Yeah, I mean, that's literally the path of ascension, is aligning consciousness and heart, or mind and heart, however you want to look at it, at higher and higher and higher and higher levels of being of the soul. So the first stage of that is the individual human context. Then you get into harmony with all of your incarnational aspects, higher self, Christ itself, fifth dimensional self, seventh dimensional self, eighth dimensional self. Like, it's the you can think of ascension as the journey to consciously engage with the, I guess you could say, the harmony of the spheres of the soul, because we're all fractals of our individual soul light. So whether we are talking about our individual fractal here, or something that is the aspect of the soul that's like 30 dimensions or something, like, we're all the same. I mean, we're not the same, but it's like we're all fractals of the one. Yes, we did. I do have a young son. Okay. Oh, okay. Now I remember. Now I remember who you are. Okay. Wow. All right, so let me get last messages if there are any, and then we'll get into Q&A if you guys have any questions, either about this or for yourself. Okay, so I'm still getting a message here about the King of Swords real quick. I think we may have been afraid of the power of our mind to create. And by create, I mean manifest with what's available, because obviously we don't actually create new life. All that exists is available here and now. It's just changing form. We're not actually creating anything. But yeah, I think that this has actually been a fear, either consciously or unconsciously, because if we are aware of and in control of and wielding that power, we have to take a lot more responsibility for what we experience in our life, for what we allow in our life, for what we have in our life. Like, we can't put a lot of that on the outside world. Now, that's not to say that there isn't also collective mind, right, that we have to deal with. But a lot of what we have to deal with is under our control. And because a lot of us have not, at one point or another, not wanted to deal with that power and consequently that responsibility, we've been willing to be the victim by letting somebody else think for us, make decisions for us, or let the greater mind be all and not actually be a player in the game, which is what we came here to do. I mean, we're incarnated to actually participate. So, yeah. It's interesting, like the energy here is so predominantly masculine, which I loved, which I love because this is healed or healing uh divine masculine energy within. So it's teaching us the healthy use of our power, but is also forcing us to man up, regardless of your gender identification. But like, the divine masculine is power in form. So wield your power and be responsible with it, and understand what you have control over and what you don't. And what you've probably realized, again, as I was saying earlier, over the past couple of weeks, how much you do actually create. I shouldn't even be saying you. I'm in this too. How much we actually create, and how much the limits that we experience are either because of a lack of engagement, not wanting to deal with something, lack of self-love, lack of discipline. Lack of discipline is a huge one. Not being able to set up routines and structures in our lives to get shit done. We can't do that. I mean, we can, but it's like, if we're going to do it, then know the consequences, which is essentially suffering. So if you want to suffer, like, keep doing what you've been doing, which is fine. But if you want something different, you have to take your control back, which means control over mind, control over heart. Well, actually, the heart doesn't get controlled. Control over mind, clear heart, which will keep the emotions even. Because you're still going to experience emotions. It's not about not having emotions, because emotions are actually the fuel for the soul when it comes to physical manifestation. Part of it, anyway. It creates it's the plasma field of the aura body. It's the magnetic field. Okay. Alrighty. Crystal suggestions for the full moon. I've been attracted to my selenite. Well, there's your answer. Yeah, like if you already have some crystals and they're speaking out to you, then that means that they actually want to work with you. And again, last week, crystal suggestions come with intentions that you have. But if the selenite is there, the phrase that I'm actually getting right now is clear mind, but also the raising of vibration. But I think that also is related to the central message of the Seven of Wands of maintaining the higher ground in your spiritual power. Like, just stay up. And when you feel yourself like falling down, or if your energy body's getting like, discipline. Get that divine masculine energy up. I'm assuming it's all ladies here right now. There might be men here too, but listen, do what you gotta do to get that man up, right? Discipline, discipline, discipline. Yes. And really, like, listen, spiritual folks stay not liking discipline, but like, yo, like they'll be disciplined with like, oh, I need to do yoga or whatever, but like, I'm not going to manage my finances. What? I don't understand. Yeah. And for me, honestly, like, yeah, discipline is like making sure you get the shit done that you need to get done and stop procrastinating. But it is also having control of your minds. Like when you are doing a task, giving it your undivided attention, not being of divided mind. Because if you give it your undivided attention, it's going to go much faster and you're going to feel more fulfilled because you're doing good work, right? And it builds character. It builds character. Okay. So that was final messages. Any questions? This is open Q&A now. I'll probably stay on for just another 10 minutes. Maybe less, actually. Questions. Y'all good? That's actually totally fine. That is totally fine. No questions, but the final message about discipline, peace hit me hard. Listen, I'm right there with you as I'm sitting here and have been procrastinating literally for the past week of like having to clean my bathtub. It's like it's always the basic shit. Well, actually, no, it's the basic shit, but it's also the big shit too. Because there are a lot of other like truly adult things I need to handle, and like I just have to like work myself up to it. Like I know I'm gonna get it done because it has to get done. But Lord have mercy, that discipline shows up for me in procrastination. It also shows up in ways of, because I'm such a creative person, um, I can forget to make sure or maintain what works, right? So, yeah, I feel you on that tomorrow. You're welcome, Stephanie. Any particular messages for me? You need specificity. Although spirit is bringing my attention to the moon energy. So, but what's your specific question, Ilana? Discipline is the word today. I'm in organization mode. Yes, I love it. Good, good, good. Yeah, I know I actually have shit to do. And I'm also so very grateful that the sun is out because it also gives additional fuel to me mentally. I need to do some grocery shopping and pray for me all that I'm going to clean my bathtub today. I'm a mess and I love it. I'm not a mess at all. I just joined because I was ripping a big adult band-aid off. I can't wait to listen from the beginning. Thank you for joining, Ashley. Yeah, this was our session about the full moon. So for the most part, it looks like we're all doing pretty good, or at least better than we may be thinking that we are. But yeah, definitely go back and re-listen. So Ilana, you got like literally 3 minutes because I'm going to bounce since I'm not seeing any other questions. So what specifically, what you reaching for? What are you not wanting to face with this moon card here? This is illusion. Illusion caused by emotion, though. So what's going on? Quickly, please. Alana, where'd you go? Do you not want to go in on that? Oh, goodness. But anyway, I hope everybody also had a lovely Mother's Day, or as best as possible. Mother energy is interesting. At some point, I should talk about toxic feminine energy. Because, yeah, feminine energy can be messy. It can be really controlling and emotionally manipulative. We might have to talk about that one day. Well, not might, like we will definitely talk about it. It's just a matter of when. That might actually come up in the transit of Mars to Cancer, to be honest. So nothing specific. You said same about. I don't know. But yeah, toxic feminine, manipulation and control, coercion, all that kind of stuff. That's how the feminine can be toxic. But we'll save that for another day. We will save that for another day. And again, when I'm saying feminine or masculine, I'm not referring to gender because we all sit in both. So men embody this as well as men are masc identified folks and women are femme folks do it. Your thing is the dishes these days. Yes. Yeah. Although at least with the dishes, it is soothing once I get the water running, but I'm a water sign, so. But I would much rather do dishes. Like dishes are actually somewhat enjoyable for me. All right, so it looks like we are good. Awesome. So I love everyone. I'm going to bounce now, actually, and have a wonderful week ahead. And like I mentioned earlier, just let whatever comes up, comes up. Oh, we got a guy actually come up and said that's going to be an interesting topic. Listen, join me next week, right? And we'll talk about this because bring it up so I remember because I forgot. I feel like I've talked about this before, at least mentioned it before, and I haven't talked about it. But in my reading, sometimes like I really have to like, and this is primarily with the women, but I have to call them out. It's like, can you not be emotionally manipulative right now? Can you not be in someone's energetic space? Can you let this person breathe? Like, really? Okay. Oh, what's the deal with the body aches? Maybe that's stuff with the moon. So either maybe your menstrual cycle is coming up, you might be in that week leading into your menses, or it might actually be hormonal. And if that's the case, if it's hormonal, part of that actually might just be able to be adjusted with physical activity. But I'm not a medical intuitive, so yeah. So yes, Erin, thank you for joining. And feel free to join me next week and be the first to bring that up once I'm done with the channel reading so we can get into it. All right, guys, I am going to bounce. Have a wonderful week. And remember what was channeled here about the stuff that's going to be brought up to be healed and cleared. Yeah, Six of Wands and Magician. We already have the victory, and we are in control of a lot more than we realize for manifesting what we want, working from the field of intention, and got the Last Judgment and Judgment card. So that's confirmation. Peace and blessings. Bye.